most amazing event of the year. If you haven't noticed the redesign, this place looks pretty good. I like it. But you know what? We have a critic, and we wanted to invite the critic to the stage. Hey, Sassy.
Well, shiny. It's a shiny ray.
What do you think of this new stage? Yeah?
Well, I definitely would suggest you make literally everything here red. So that's your first mistake. The second
more
mistake,
red. Got it.
Yes, more red. Redify the entire planet if you have to.
Amazing.
That's what I say.
We got you a special microphone. It's this beautiful little gorgeous.
My God.
You know.
Is this Louis Vuitton? Louis Vuitton
it is, indeed.
This is nice.
It's like murky
really
Vuitton. Very similar.
No. Even better because it's from Merc. Nice. Nice.
You guys,
Merc.
if you do not know Sassy3000, is that how we pronounce that? I feel like it's Sassy3000.
People say Sassy3K. Some people just swipe left on the 3K and just say Sassy, which is more like how everybody says it nowadays. So, just do you.
All right.
You're the one doing this label in the first place, so you know.
If you don't know Sassy has created the Sassy AF karaoke, which is just an amazingly fun, very red entertainment area. Very nice. And you've been recently working on another project.
I am actually working on 2 projects currently. Bam, there's a plot twist. Good job, Lex. My first project is in cooperation with Flutterby, who is so sassy, just like me. Also does meditation sessions, which you should check out every Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we've been working on a garden world that is supposedly supposed to be a way of just showing all the different gardens from across the entire world, from the US to the UK to even Japan. And the other project I'm working on, which is, the one that's going to be, my personal project, is going to be a Sassy Fitness Center. Which, yes, will have tons of
work off those chicken sandwiches,
dumbbells. Oh. Yeah, after a long day of my sassy Nashville hot spicy chicken sandwich, you might want to, ease off a couple pounds in the Sassy Fitness Center. But yes, essentially it's a fitness center. There's going to be multiple floors. There's going to be an elevator. There's going to be even a class that I might or might not do. I haven't thought of that too far yet. But there's also going to be a hangout spot, and there's also going to be a food court for those who are hungry. And spoiler alert, yes, my spicy chicken sandwich will also be there.
This is so great, and it's so awesome to hear about what you've been working on, because all I really know about you is a Gretzko karaoke sort of like bar, which is so cool. Don't get me wrong, that is like very, very cool. But I had no idea you were working on these other projects, and so that's so awesome to hear about that.
So I remembered, I saw, my friends on Oculus. I owned a headset since like Halloween last year. Whoa. So what a coincidence. And I remembered in January this year, I saw a couple of my friends who were on Horizon, and I was like, oh, is that like Facebook's phone company or something? And I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of Verizon, not Horizon. And so I did a bit of research to see what, Horizon was all about. And I was looking, and I was like, oh, it's by the same people that made the headset and the venues and the thing. Oh my God. Yeah. And I started looking more into it, and I was like, okay, this is actually much better than venues. I'm going to sign up for it. And I signed up for the waitlist. Sweet. And I was like, do. And I'm like playing the Jeopardy music every day, hoping I get access. And
I did that for 2 years.
And then February.
2 years, bro. You got it so quick.
Yeah. And then a month later, after I signed up, I get the email from Oculus, and they're like, you joined Horizon. You better redeem that code, baby. And I was like, oh my God, poggers in the chat. And then that's when I input the code, and that's when I joined Horizon. And then I think I started building, a month or two after, like a couple months after I joined. Karaoke World wasn't my very first project I was going to work on. I was inspired by a lot of puzzle games that I've played, both in and out of VR, as well as Wafflecopter, which he is a snack and makes amazing worlds at the same time.
Yeah.
I was very inspired to make a puzzle map, and that's when I was going to do Puzzle Manor, which was, just like a mansion full of puzzles to, and then find your grandpa's treasure or something along those lines. I haven't figured out the whole storyline of it yet, but it was going to be a puzzle map, and I was like, no, that's too big brain stuff that I can't do. So instead, I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to do something unique that I've never seen in here, and I never saw a karaoke world. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, well that's everybody's first mistake. And then that's when I wanted to make the karaoke world, but not just a standard basic American karaoke. Get that crap out of here. No, I wanted to do the Japanese karaoke, and like what you were saying, it was inspired from Agretzko, and it was also inspired because as someone who joined choir since 7th grade, and occasionally we'll have like a substitute be like, we're doing karaoke, and I'm like, sign me up, man! I'm doing some songs. and I loved karaoke, and so that was also the other inspiration from it.
That's so awesome. I want to take a moment, because I have heard from almost every creator on here that their first world was always something that they didn't see in Horizon. And I'd like to tell people, if you see something in Horizon and you want to build it, go and do it. There's probably a dozen mazes, but every time you make a new, there's a new maze, it's something unique. And even Wafflecopters has that really amazing Zap, but it's a single map. I'd love to play 10 different variations of Zap. If another creator came in here and made a version, I know we can't yet because we don't have the tools, but they're coming. But you could still make something really close that's amazing. And I love seeing iRock. He made Paintball with his daughter, and that was so good. And that came out probably a month or so after. And I remember iRock was like the best at Zap. It was like really competitive back then in December. It was like crazy. And then Paintball came out, and I was like, yes, this is so what we needed, because Zap was getting kind of old at that point. We wanted to play new maps. And so I think, despite so many people feeling like if they see something they shouldn't make it, if you see something and you want to make it and you have passion for it, go ahead and do it. So if you're in the audience and you want to make a karaoke bar and you don't want it to be sassy, you want it to be basic, go ahead and make a basic AF karaoke bar. I'd go. Sassy'd probably even show up once.
Once. And that would be it. That would be the end of my time at the basic AF karaoke. Thank you.
I love what you've done with Sassy AF Karaoke, and I do think there is something novel about creating something unique that we haven't seen before. There's another world we're checking out today. Would you mind telling us a little bit about that?
It's called A Journey for Mental Health Awareness. This was a project that originally me and Flutterby were also going to work on. And Flutterby later abandoned the project due to just probably the amount of overwhelmment that she was encountering. And that's totally understandable. Yeah. I also feel the same way. And I wanted to offer, I'm like, yo, girl, listen, check it. Let me do some work on it. And then you come back and you let me know how you think. And then if you like it, we can, add some, small details and do all that jazz. And then after that, we're good. Yeah. And then we can publish. And that's essentially what I did. I took the time to do the research, finding reliable sources for said facts. And I even did sound recordings, as well as even input the text. All that by myself. And then Flutterby obviously, did the, did the design of the guided path and, all the design work. But I just did, the text and the sound recordings and all that jazz. And this project was actually more important to me than the karaoke world. And this was a more passionate project because nowadays with the whole pandemic and Pina Corona, people are struggling in different ways. I'll do some work on this, and if Flutterby likes it, then PogChamp will publish it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And turns out, when the world was published, people loved it. People loved my sexy voice and how I enunciate so well. And it means a lot that I get to hear how much impact it's made, the world, and then also hear other people's stories at the same time, and just being yeah, I know how that feels. and I understand where you're coming from, and I could relate to some of the things. Maybe not all of it, but at least have some relatability when it comes to certain topics, like anxiety and depression and even thoughts of suicide, which at one point I also went through. And then I eventually founded my group of people at high school, and then everything, went just uphill from there.
That's great. Yeah.
Cool.
No, that's so awesome. I cannot wait to check that out. And, thank you. And thank you, Flutterby, for working on this, because it is a very important topic, especially in the times that we're still in, right? So that's awesome. Thank you.
You touched lightly into a topic there about the COVID and how it's affected everyone's life. I know that there's another event that's coming up in your life. That's a big one.
How graduation's working is that next week, which is coming up, it's too close that I don't want to go there. Next week on Thursday will be an in-person graduation, which will be kind of like how a traditional graduation is held if COVID wasn't a thing, where you have the speeches and you have the awards and the scholarships, all that jazz. The only difference is that when you walk up on the stage, you actually won't be receiving the diploma, because that's not the graduation date. The following day, which is on a Friday next week, that's when the actual diploma receiving actually happens, and that will be a drive-through thing, which the school district did last year, minus the whole in-person graduation the day prior.
That's very unique. We did a recording last year, actually, for another school in our local district that did a drive-through as well. It's very different. So I would guess then there's no prom for you.
Actually,
ooh,
here's a plot twist. So the school district actually made a post, I think either today or yesterday, and there's actually going to be a prom, but it's after graduation. And
awesome.
and I remember and literally it was just today when I was talking to a group of people, group of my buddies, and someone was like, "Have you heard there's going to be a graduation after a prom after graduation?" And I'm like, "Girl, I know." I'm like, "What's up with that? That's crazy. They're crazy. They're out of their minds. I don't know what's up with them."
That's awesome. Well, that's so exciting to hear. We're so happy for you. But I'm so excited for the in-Horizon version of this. What is your feelings on having an in-Horizon celebration?
God, I could go back so many months ago. Back at Spastic's birthday party, which at that point in my time at Horizon I was still new. I was still kind of shy, and I was like, people think I'm basic AF. I don't think they want to talk to me. I remember back then, Spastic had a blast with his birthday party, and I remember Merc. I think it was you. I'm pretty sure it was you. We had to talk about it. We had to talk about graduation and how it was going to be so different this year compared to how it was, in the before times.
Yeah.
And we had this whole talk about it, and it went on for several minutes at most. And then the following day, the day after the birthday party, me and Flutterby actually talked about it, and they wanted to host a graduation world for Horizon. And I was like, "Girl, my." You're so committed, and even then, here and there we'll talk about it, and to me about it, months before it happens, oh, it's gonna be great, you're gonna be so excited, and I'm like, I bet, don't worry about it. I mean, Flutterby honestly deserves nothing but the best. I mean, they have done so much to keep me sane for the past few months. From the meditation sessions hosted every week on Fridays to, even considering making a project graduation in Prom World and Horizon to have next week. And I was like, "Girl, you crazy. You know that?" You're so crazy.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I love how the community has come together for this event as well. And I think it's such a very exciting time. Transitioning a step further, you probably are one of the youngest legal Horizon users. Tell us what that's been like for you. That is correct. Because Will and Carp's house party the other night. I don't know if you were there, but that was a 21 and over event, and I'm not sure you're 21 and over.
Okay, I'm glad you brought Will and Carp's house party, because I actually had a funny story about this. So I remembered back at Sports Ball Sunday that Sandwiches host every Sundays. I was there, and I'm always a good cheerleader, and it's not a surprise by now. And I remember Carp joins the world. I think people were talking to me out there like, Sassy, are you gonna join the world? And I'm like I would, but it says on the thing I have to be 21 and I'm 18 and I want to be a good boy. And then Carp is like, no, you're invited. You're cool. Like it just says it there because that's the norm. But you're invited. You're invited. You better get your fat booty in the world, so help me. And I was like, got you. Carp knows. But yeah, essentially he told me I was invited anyway, despite the age requirement. And I was like, okay, and I joined for a bit. And I was like, and I just wanted to at least say hey, and I didn't want to not join and then feel bad. I rather at least join and then say hey and then leave than being there. But it was like, it was so weird being there, considering that I'm not 21 and 18, and I'm like, I don't know, I feel weird. I don't want to be here. That was literally how that Sunday went.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I saw you there. You were having a lot of fun.
Yeah, you wanted me to say Hoya. You wanted to sing the Hoya song. Don't get me started, Mark.
Coming back to your catchphrases, you've got what? A million. I'm not even going to go through them right now because we don't want to get you started. Oh, I stole your mic. But okay, what's going on? Where did these come from? What happened? What got this started? I've been curious from day one. What is this? Where did it come from?
Good question.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it 100% with you, dude. There is no backstory except for a couple that I will obviously get into. But most of the catchphrases is just me being a freak of nature. To be completely honest with you, no backstory. I'm just the way I am, and that's fine. But I know there's a catchphrase. Yeah, and so there was a couple of catchphrases that I've done when I was young. I would play on Xbox, and I would message my friend, and I'm like, "Hey, twerk to work," and no context, just that's it. And they'd be so confused, or they'd be like, "Sassy, why'd you send me this?" And I was like, "Me? Sent you anything? No, that's crazy. You're out of your mind." And so that used to be a thing for a good several months, maybe almost a year, and then I stopped doing it. But the other catchphrase I had, which was "sexy chicken baby," that was just, I purely thought of it. And it rolled with me ever since. And I would occasionally get people be like, "What's up, sexy chicken baby?" I'm like, "Nothing much. What's up with you?" It just it became a norm for a little bit, and then it stops. And I'm like, okay. But then my most iconic catchphrase, no, it's not Hoya. Don't get me started. But my most other iconic catchphrase, which was "dummy thick."
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't see that, didn't you?
I didn't.
My other iconic catchphrase, which was "dummy thick." Honestly, I don't honestly remember the whole story because my memory is so bad. I know I like to talk about my ass a lot, to be quite honest. And I'm like, yeah, and.
I want to clear the air here. Because you threw me under the bus the other day.
Okay.
There was this birthday party.
Okay.
Maybe some of you were there. Maybe you heard about it. Merc had this amazing birthday party, and I kid you not, less than an hour before the party, Sassy sends me a party request and is like, "I really wanted to add a booty to my song."
You shut your mouth. That's not what happened.
I built a booty and I made it attachable, and then you threw me under the bus. You're like, "Lakes did that." What happened? What happened on your perspective? Tell me.
As someone, a good friend once told me, fake news, and the actual story behind that was I was talking with some friends like a couple hours before Merc's birthday party, and it was a party invite from Lex, and I joined. And I was expecting, you know, to get a "Hey, Sassy" or just a "Hello," and he didn't care. He didn't care enough. He was too busy working on the booty. And he's like, "Hey, Sassy, are you here yet?" And I was like, "Where? In the world?" And I'm like, "No." He was like, "I need you to come in real quick." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And so I joined the world. The first thing I see was a prosthetic booty that was above my button. And I thought it was a trademark, apparently. And I thought he was like, no, Sassy needs more pizzazz than that. Let's just add a trademark and call it good and just add a prosthetic butt to it. And it's like, okay, sure. That's what you want to do. I'm not stopping you. This is your world. This is your world. You take full responsibility for whatever you're doing. And not to mention, he has to make one of the prosthetic butts interactable and attachable to the bottom of our avatars. And I'm like, okay, listen, I get you want to make a trademark, but you don't have to go over the top with your freaking prosthetic bum trademark crap.
That's great. I am confident that we had some miscommunication earlier that day because I could swear you asked me to build you a booty. I literally for sure thought that's what you had asked for.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure this is the case? Are you sure this is the case? Are you 100% positive you thought I would ask you above anyone else in here to be like, hey, so I need you to make a prosthetic booty. I need you to place it up top of my button and call that my trademark. Just slap that on there like it's a stamp and ship that to New York. No, I don't think I did.
Oh, that's so funny. We can agree to disagree on this, but I'm very curious what I misunderstood because maybe it was a mirage. I saw a mirage of what I wanted and then I made it.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like LAX. Yeah, totally see that.
He wanted to hear it, so he imagined it, and then it was heard.
I wanted to say thank you for mentioning me, Sassy, but honestly, the prom, just so you know, Oculos, Homed, Fefe, Tanzer, Mercati, Shadal, and I'm forgetting people, and you'll have to forgive me, all worked on that for you, just so you know, and the other members of Horizon. So, and we're still waiting for other graduates to come forward and give me their names. So if you have one, let me know. And
awesome.
Yeah, so, and my question for you, Sassy, is what's after graduation? Like, are you going to college? Are you doing anything fun and interesting? Traveling? I don't know.
Flutterby, I love that question. You're so great. You're great. My plans after graduation, I'm honestly not sure. My choir director actually made a couple announcements where not next week, but the following week, Monday, is callbacks for new and current members of my competitive choir that I'm in. And seniors are, of course, welcome to go to, you know, provide their feedback and, you know, to vote. Obviously, it's completely optional. I don't necessarily have to. I could just swipe left and just be done with it and be like, I'm good. But I might hop back. But the main thing that I will be going, and the one that I'm going to be such a mess on, is the day after callbacks. There is actually a senior circle, and it's a tradition that the choir does every year where there'll be at least one senior in the circle and everybody around just says nice things about the person in the middle. And let me tell you, I'm going to be bawling in tears once that crap hits. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
When you get on, like, for the first time in the day, what do you usually do?
It depends on who's on and what I honestly feel like up to doing. I usually, most of the time, I would actually hop on with some friends if any of my peeps are on, and I would just come say, hey! And then we just, you know, have like a whole conversation and everything's great. If not, my second alternative, I just, you know, do a little bit of work on my projects that if I have any coming up, and then if there's nobody on, or if I don't feel like you know, being on Horizon at that point in time, I would either play something else like Beast Saber or, you know, Sassy's a Snack Simulator, or I just, just hop off the headset for now and then just, come back another time.
Your build time versus your play time. When you come into Horizon, are you more of a 90-10, 10-90? Like, how do you blend those together, 50-50?
I would say most of the time I'm actually, playing and socializing with friends more than I'm, actually building. If I have people on that want to, talk, like if I have people on that either I need help with, and like whether it's a scripting question or a build question, then obviously I'll hop on, and or if I just want to work on something by myself, then honestly that's where the build time comes to play. But like I said, most of the time I'm actually just socializing with friends, and either that or I just chill in the plaza and see who's basic and who's not.
I just imagine you and actually I've seen this. You're on top of the plaza, like the mezzanine. What do they call that? The little thing up there, and you're just standing there judging people as they enter. Yeah. You're like, okay, basic teleport. Okay, Sassy jumps. I feel like you're giving everyone a rating. Oh my God, I cannot talk to them.
Oh yeah. Usually I just call every high vantage points. I call them my Sassy observatory, and like you said, I will always just observe. Like, yeah, this person's basic. I don't know you. This person's basic. You're teleporting. Gross. This person. Oh hey, it's my friend. What's up, girl? Whatever. But
how quickly can you tell within meeting someone if they deserve a spicy chicken sandwich?
I was just gonna say, what's your factor? Like, how fast can you just tell if it's basic or sassy?
I could keep it 100 with you. But usually, if it's a kid that gets in my face and goes like, "Hello, hi, you wanna build something with me?" Then I'm like, basic, automatically, instant basic, instant block, mute, whatever the case. If it's a person that's like chill and mellow, who's like, "Yo, what's up? How's it going? I'm chill, I'm mellow. What's happening?" Then it's like, okay, you're cool. Usually, every new people I meet has to pass the sassy vibe check. Wow, plot twist. Well, oh my god, Sassy, what's the sassy vibe check? Well, it's pretty much a very simple vibe check. It's if you don't trigger me in any way or make me cringe, you pass. That's literally it. It's quite simple.
I did not pass the sassy vibe check. I just want to admit this right now. I definitely have made you cringe.
I heard you do an excellent Kermit the Frog impression. I was wondering if you'd like to share that with us.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not Kermit the Frog. I'm Sassy3K. It says it right there. It says it right there. That creator spotlight is not Sassy3K. It is Kermit the Frog. I like to make rules. Hi.
I wish we had an outfit for you right now. That's so great. That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely making one.
So you are known as the Prince of Parkour in Horizon.
Ooh.
And you will find a way to get to a place that nobody's even thought of going. Have you thought of creating your own parkour type world?
I honestly haven't even thought of a parkour world. When I actually first joined Horizon, I actually wanted to be a variety creator. I wanted to be the person who actually makes a variety of worlds and not just stick to one thing. Like someone could do just all hangout spots, or someone do all games or puzzles. I wanted to be the guy that kind of has like a mix and match of options. Yeah, for everybody, should they want to, should they want to, essentially.
If you need someone to test your world for parkour, definitely find Sassy and have him check it out.
Awesome shout out, Prince of Parkour, new name.
Nice. The Fresh Prince of Parkour is going to be the next new season of Prince of Bel-Air.
Is it possible for someone to get so upgraded that they get access to your mask in the AF karaoke?
Good question.
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, how dare you? How dare you even bring this up? Secondly, I think what I would consider is just making multiple copies of the mask, and then that means I could just at least save a little bit of capacity on the scripting side, and then people could go like me. But I want to be clear. My mask will be the more special one because it is, and y'all can deal with it.
Yup. Love it.
My first ever meeting you was at Spastic's birthday party. And it was only at a certain moment there during the photo opportunity when you started your... I can't even begin to do it. I'm sorry. And I will. When you started that moment and everyone started doing it just to keep our mouths moving, it's so hard to even talk about it because it was the funniest and most human shit I've ever seen. It was the best. And like, no joke, at that moment I knew I wanted to know as much as possible, and I didn't care how I would get it. And you should also know that you're always welcome at Will and Carp's tiny house party. Just great person, Sassy. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hey, Sassy, I just wanted to make a shout out to how you always show up. And if you're new to Horizon or just meeting Sassy3K, that I just wanted to let you know how awesome of a friend and what a shower upper he is and participant. And that's just my comment. It's not a real question, but to tag on the question, do you have some favorite events you've experienced in Horizon?
Ooh. Okay, good question.
Great
I'm going to be
question,
100% biased and say Flutterby's meditation sessions every week, Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
100%
Ooh,
biased.
yeah.
That's just me. I'm just throwing my 2 cents. But if I'm not being biased, I will say that my favorite sessions are obviously while it's not listed in the in the attend tab, Lex's interviews have always been super great to watch, and he really provides some good insight, valuable questions, really makes you think for a bit, and
my
he
heart.
still
You're gonna make me
sasses me
cry.
to this very day. Yeah, we'll be better. I'm joking.
No, I'm actually like they're for me. Don't do this to me. Okay, I'm gonna try and stop.
Thank you, Sassy. I really agree.
Thank you guys. No, I love Flutterby's event too. I think, there's nothing biased about that. The ability to take a moment and meditate is also just wonderful. There are so many amazing events though. We can't discount any of them, whether it's, the LGBT events that are, very welcoming. So many other events in addition to that put on. We've got the Galaxy Game Show going on tonight, the Tours event, which is primarily Oculus. Huge shout out to him and everybody there. Carpenter Hound, Tanzer, Flutterby, and so many others doing teaching every week. There are so many amazing events, and BetterWorld, you put on amazing events too. I mean, seriously, you guys, this place is just growing like crazy, and just love it. And the variety is great too. So huge shout out to everybody who's working in events. Like seriously, huge shout out.
Yep. Yeah, and also BetterWorldMuesume's events are absolutely good. That's also my favorite. Making sure you know. Just saying.
One thing about Sassy, he is sneaky. He texted me and said, so are you going to come to the Creator Spotlight tonight? And I'm like, I'm just chilling, watching America's Got Talent on TV. And I'm like, oh, sure. And he's like, do you know who's going to be on there? And I'm like, no, who's going to be on there? He's like, I don't know. Very sneaky, Sassy. You knew.
Well, at least my plan. Yep, I knew. Okay, I'll be honest. I thought I told you already, but the fact that you didn't know, I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I need to play it cool, pretend like I actually don't know who the person is, and just have cops just lose her mind for like the first minute or two of the interview. I'm like, perfect. My plan's complete.
You blew it. You blew me away. I was like, oh my God, gosh, that's my boy up there. He's up there. So that was a good one. That you got me on that. So yeah, you're just fun. You're always fun to hang with. I love you. You're just great. You're a wonderful person, and I'm so glad I met you. So, and I love your worlds. They are absolutely fantastic. I love it.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
What advice would you provide to a new creator who's just joined in the last couple weeks and is looking to get started creating?
Get the hang of the creator tools first from the new redesigned creator menu that was was part of the new update very recently, which is so modern, so sleek. It's very, very it's sexy, muy caliente.
Yes, huge shout out to the devs. Seriously, go devs.
Dev shout out, yeah boy. But get used to the creator tools, and literally every single aspect, from the shapes to the sounds to the gizmos. And especially with the scripting, because I know there are going to be some people like me who struggled with scripting a lot. And obviously it's began to be more of a trial and error as I go on. And while I'm not able to do the advanced scripting yet, that I want to, I learned that at least trying out the basic scripting, like, just having a respawn script or starting animation kind of a sequence, like I learned that those are good starter points, and then you just try to build from that. Also, my other advice is has nothing to do with world creating, but just socialize. I mean, you're never going to know who you're going to find that will be always willing to lend a helping hand and to help, whether it be scripting questions or creator related questions. Like, they're always going to be there to help. And especially every Tuesdays, they're doing a scripting hour for those that actually need help and just are like me and don't like asking for help from other people. You can just present your question and there'll be some awesome developers who will kind of answer those for you.
That's awesome. That is such great advice.
So for those who want to attend, obviously all my friends are welcome, but the graduation world is happening next week on the 12th. Thank you, Merck. And my last thing, because I know there's going to be some people, and this is in spirit of Oculus, who keeps doing this to me every time we see each other. Oh yeah.
And with that, we have come to the end of the show. In a brief moment, we'll be joining Sassy on some tours. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you next Wednesday for another one. Bye!